It's funny, when Conrad was just talking about teaching in schools and maths, I remembered, I've got 4 children, and the oldest one, when she was about 10, I went to parents' evening, and at the time I was doing a PhD in software engineering, and as part of what I was doing, I was using matrix arithmetic. And so what I would do is get my children, the older ones who were like probably about 10 and 8 then, to go through my calculations to make sure that I got everything correct, because to me that was a reasonably easy thing for an 8 or 10-year-old to do. So I went along to parents' evening, and the teacher said to me, everything's fine, blah, 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 but I'm a bit worried about her maths. So I said, well, what's the problem? I think she's quite good at maths. And he said, well, she just can't remember her times tables. And I just thought, oh my goodness, is that what you think maths is? So then I told him about her checking my research papers and the calculations, and, well, never mind, but yeah. So I think it's quite interesting that the way some people see maths and the way other people see maths. So, does anyone know where this is? Bletchley Park, yes. So you might know, but I've been involved with Bletchley Park over the last few years. And so thinking about maths and our history of maths and computing in this country, some amazing stuff went on at Bletchley Park. And looking at these photos also makes me think about the term computer, because of course computer used to be a person and is now a machine. And what was done at Bletchley Park was basically to produce machines that could automate the stuff that was being done by hand. So that again kind of links in, I think, to what Conrad's been saying about having a problem-based approach and about not needing humans to do all the number crunching now, because we have machines to do that for us. So I don't know if you can guess who this is, but actually I was quite cute once. I know I'm not now. So this is me at about age 7 or 8. And someone asked me a while ago, when did I first realise that I was a geek? And so I kind of thought back to this kind of time. And what I used to do was save up my pocket money. And then on Saturdays, we used to go to W.H. Smith's in the local shopping centre. And I used to spend my pocket money on maths textbooks. So I think that was the first time that I realised, well, I didn't realise then, but looking back, that's I think, a sign that I was a geek. And I just like showing that picture because I think it's cute. So in this country, I think we're kind of a bit scared of computers, scared of maths. You hear all the time, if someone says, are you good at maths? And you say yes, it's like you're a bit of a freak. You're supposed to say, oh no, I can't do that, or I failed my GCSE, or, it's not a good thing to be good at, I suppose. And I think this kind of attitude is summed up in this. Does everyone know this from, what's it called, Little Britain? So basically, there's a character who, whatever you say to her, whatever question you ask her, she types something into the computer, and then she says, computer says no. And I think that kind of represents the feeling that we have in general. Obviously not every single person, but lots of people think that basically computers always say no. If there's a computer involved, then it's a negative thing, it's not a positive thing. So going back to our heritage in this country, I think we've got an amazing heritage of technology, science, maths, and so the black and white picture here is supposed to represent the Industrial Revolution. So we led the way, I think, at that time, because we're so good at invention. We're kind of creative around the whole science and technology area, and we mechanised processes, which meant that we became kind of world leaders at that time. And so we also knew how to put children to work on a large scale to make lots of money for our country. So that was the Industrial Revolution. And so now the colour picture here is supposed to represent the Digital Revolution, which I think we're in the middle of, or maybe even only at the beginning of at the moment. And as you can see, we can still get children working for us. We don't need adults. So kind of going back to the computer says no thing, what I'm trying to do with the GoTo Foundation, which is a charity that I've set up, is to try and get everyone a bit more tech savvy across the country, Because I think, in general, my peers, we all get the fact that we're in the middle of a digital revolution and how important that is, and how important it is that we understand technology. But I think the average person in the street doesn't understand that. And I think that this is kind of a cycle which we need to do something about now, because I think if we can get people to be tech savvy now, just on a kind of day-to-day basis, I don't think everyone should be a programmer, but I do think people should have a vague idea of how apps work. They should understand what software is, because I think most people don't really even know what it is. They should have a vague idea of how computers work and why they're important. If we can get that across to people, then people will be a bit more tech savvy. And if people are a bit more tech savvy, then they will go and use those skills in their everyday workplace. And if they do that, then we'll have people going into their jobs in shops, or maybe they own a company, or whatever their job is, and use that kind of information or knowledge that they've got about how these things work to innovate in their own space, whatever that space is. You know, even someone who's maybe got kids and at home and wants to set up their own business, if they're a bit more tech savvy, they will be able to do that more easily. And I think that will lead to more productive organisations, more innovative organisations, and then that will eventually lead to a flourishing economy, which is what we all want, right? And an increased standard of living. So to this end, and kind of linking in with Conrad's thoughts, I think, we held a one-day workshop for children at my daughter's school, and we ran 3 separate workshops within the workshop. One was how to design an app, one was playing around with hardware and software, Raspberry Pis, and one was learning Scratch. So we got 7 to 9-year-olds to do that in one day. And at the end of the day, we got the parents in and got the parents to do it as well. It went very well, and how this links in is that I think a problem-based approach is really important. When we did the app design workshop, that was run by Apps for Good, who are an amazing organisation, who showed the children like a video of a situation where an app would be needed. And so they showed a parents' evening with the parent, the teacher, and the child. And the teacher saying to the parent and the child were both Bengali. So the teacher was saying to the parent, your child's been terrible, I need to tell you that she's not doing any work, and blah, 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 basically very negative. And then the child translates to the mother, who doesn't understand what the teacher's saying, and says, I'm the best, I'm the best child in the school, and he wants to congratulate you because you're a great parent, or something like that. And so you see the need, there's a need there, and the children pick up really quickly, there's a need there for something to help sort out this situation. And so then they show a simple app which translates. And so the kids get the idea of what an app is. Then they sat in groups, and they worked out, they had to think an app themselves, and then they chose one on the table, and then they wrote the user interface within an hour. And so what I want to play you is a video which shows you what happened on the day. What I really wanted to do was, from my software engineering background, bring together the hardware, the software, and the design all together, so that people get more of an idea of the kind of holistic picture of what technology is all about, rather than just kind of partitioning everything all the time. You need people to see the whole picture for them to understand it and appreciate it, and then they'll enjoy it so much more. And yeah, we need this in primary schools, we need it in secondary schools, we need it out there, we need programmes on TV, we need people to understand this stuff.
The wonderful thing about today is it's been innovative, it's been really hands-on, it's been creative, they've been able to do a bit of role play, develop games, to see how the inside of the computer works and start to see different bits of coding. It's just been fantastic to have so many different groups come together who are clearly all excited.
Before a certain age, there is no gender difference. It's later on this starts to be seen as a sort of geeky boy type thing. There starts to become more of a gender imbalance, perhaps, in some schools some of the time. So at primary school, when you've got a whole gang of them, let's just get on and code something up and have a play with this. This is perfect age to start this sort of thing, it really is. So we've just sort of sown seeds of ideas, and we hope that they're going to germinate in the terms ahead.
This is not just about getting them to do computer science. This is about getting them to be innovative in the way they learn about lots lots of different things, and that computers are just one of the ways they can learn those different disciplines.
I think what's nice is watching the different groups. It's all different pieces of the puzzle that come together, and it's lovely to see how something that started quite spontaneous and could have been really quite disparate has come together in a sort of holistic day, and hearing the kids see how they see that all join up. So absolutely, first of many great things.
I think what got me is the fact that because we've got the technology now that's able to cater to people's different interests, and you have a diversity, and yet our education system is standardised, this is kind of transformational, it's game-changing, especially as it's been done in the primary school.
My name's Pam Dryden, and I'm lucky enough to be the head teacher of St Matthew's Primary School in Surbiton. And today we've had a fantastic tech day where the children have been designing their own computer programmes and really finding out how computers work. Many of the computer programs we've used to date don't actually teach children the thread of how to build, but this is a chance for them really to understand how something works, and if it doesn't work, to problem solve and figure out a way of making it work.
Okay, everyone. Fantastic ideas. I think they're ready for the next step.
So the next step is you've got a whole list full of problems. So what I'd like you to do now is in your groups talk about the problems and pick one.
So I think they need 3 minutes.
3 minutes? Alright, 3 minutes.
I'm Debbie Stubbington, I'm the ICT coordinator, and I've just been watching the children have a wonderful time all day. The apps activity, we thought will fit in with any topic that the children are doing. We can do that in lots of different ways. And Raspberry Pis are just such fun, and actually it reminds me of the days when I first started teaching, where you had the BBC Bees and you'd sit and you'd type in lines of code. It's been a great day, and the children have had a wonderful time, and I think the parents have really appreciated it as well, being able to join in with all the activities.
My name's Sam Aldred. I'm a trainee teacher in my first year at Roehampton University, and we've been bringing Scratch, a computer programme, into school. It was a mixed year at 3 and 4 class, and we just started with the basics. It was basic programming, like moving them around and things like that. Some outcomes were brilliant. It varied quite a lot, but some absolutely flew. There was a lot of experimenting. No, it was really good. We had some perfect start to finish games, so controlling a sprite, catching some others, and it was really good.
I'm here with the Apps for Good people. Sam, how do you think the day's gone?
The youngest we ever taught is 13 years old, so this is a lot younger, and I have to say I was pleasantly surprised. The great thing about them is that they've got so much more energy, and just having a place to focus that, it's great to see that they're willing to do that as well. I think enthusiasm was through the roof. I've never seen a class as enthusiastic as that, which was awesome to see. I'd also say that I don't think they've had many opportunities to do something like this at such a young age, so because of that, they took it quite seriously as well.
So, Mrs. Strong, did you have a good time today?
Yes, it was fantastic. The kids have enjoyed all 3 workshops. It was really interesting to see them just explore and experiment. Seeing them just working within teams as well and just bouncing ideas off each other. It was lovely to see.
I'm here with Pete Woods from RS Components.
Fantastic day. Really surprised about how smart these kids are. The whole idea behind today was to show them how when they write something in a program and they execute it, actually something happens.
Yeah.
So we got them to write a piece of code to tell it to turn the light on and then to turn it off. So it was a very basic thing, but they were very excited about it and it was great. The problem today is that technology is handed to kids on a plate. They don't actually understand how it works. So if we don't get kids encouraged again back at the grassroots level of how these things actually work, before we know it, we're going to have no electronics engineers, we're going to have no computer science guys, no computer programmers. That's a real shame.
Everyone involved has had a brilliant, brilliant day. It just goes to show that if you present stuff in the right way, people love it. People are interested in computer science, they are interested in technology, they just don't know yet that they are, but I think we need to do more of this. Do we need a revolution? Yes, we do. There's so much goodwill around all of this. The teachers love it, the schools love it, the technology companies want us all to be engaged, the kids are enjoying it, so yeah, why don't we have a revolution? Let's shake it all up and do a bit more of this. Basically, the day went very well. Everyone was very excited. The problem-based thing really, really worked with the kids. 7-year-old kids can do computing. They can do stuff with Raspberry Pis. They can design apps. And if 7-year-olds can, then anybody can. And this is me and my family, because I like showing that I've got 4 children. I'm very proud of them. And computer says yes. Thank you.